The gleaming hull of the Galactic Union vessel Eternal Light sliced through the darkness of space as it conducted its routine patrol near the Sol system. Captain Tay stood on the bridge, his experienced eyes scanning the various holographic displays surrounding his command chair. After 20 years of service, few things surprised him anymore. Today would be different. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the third planet," reported Officer Miho, his fingers dancing across the sensor controls.
"They don't match anything in our database."
Captain Tay straightened in his chair. Sol 3, or Earth as the natives called it, was classified as a protected pre-spacefaring civilization. According to Union protocols, the humans shouldn't have technology capable of producing such readings.
"Show me," he commanded. The main view screen shifted to display a spectrum analysis.
Pulsing waves of blue and green energy radiated from Earth's orbit in several points throughout the system.
Commander June approached, her usually calm face showing concern.
"Captain, these signatures suggest advanced propulsion systems. But Earth's technology level is only at Tier 8. They shouldn't even have basic ion drives for another century." Tay rubbed his chin thoughtfully.
"Could it be a glitch in our sensors?" "I've already run 3 diagnostic checks," replied Miho. "The readings are real."
"Send a stealth probe," ordered Tay. "Let's get visual confirmation before we report this to High Command." The small probe detached from the Eternal Light and accelerated toward Earth, its cloaking systems making it invisible to primitive radar.
The crew waited in tense silence as it approached the blue planet.
2 days later, the probe transmitted its first images.
The bridge fell silent as the main screen displayed the impossible. Hidden throughout Earth's asteroid belt were massive shipyards.
In orbit around Mars and the outer planets were hundreds of vessels, sleek, deadly-looking ships with designs unlike anything in Union records.
"This can't be right," whispered June.
"These ships have quantum shielding.
That's Tier 2 technology at minimum." Captain Tay's mind raced.
Earth was supposed to be centuries away from achieving space travel beyond their own moon. Yet here was evidence of a fleet that could rival some of the Union's finest battlegroups. "Sir," called Communications Officer Sun from her station, "I'm detecting active quantum communications between the vessels. The humans are using untraceable faster-than-light communications."
"How is this possible?" asked June.
"We've been monitoring Earth for centuries. There's no way they could have developed this technology without us noticing."
Tay zoomed in on one of the largest vessels. Its hull bore the marking USC Defender along with an image of Earth. "They've been building this fleet in secret, right under our noses."
The probe continued its mission, capturing images of shipyards hidden in asteroid shadows and vessels patrolling the outer system.
Some appeared to be research ships, others were clearly designed for combat. "Look at their propulsion systems," said Engineering Officer Doyen, pointing to the blue glow emanating from the human ships.
"They're not using standard fusion or antimatter drives.
That looks like folded space technology? But that's theoretical even for us."
Captain Tay made his decision.
"This changes everything. Earth isn't just spacefaring, they've developed technology that rivals or exceeds our own."
He turned to his communications officer.
"Contact High Command immediately.
Tell them we need to prepare for official first contact."
"What about Protocol 7, asked June, referring to the non-interference directive for developing worlds.
"It seems the humans have made Protocol 7 irrelevant," replied Tay with a wry smile.
"They've been watching us while we thought we were watching them."
As the message was sent to High Command, the crew of the Eternal Light continued studying the human fleet. They discovered defense platforms with advanced weapons systems surrounding Earth, stealth satellites in orbits designed to observe alien worlds, and signs of outposts as far out as Pluto.
"Based on their technology level, I'd estimate they've been space-capable for at least 50 years, said Doyen.
"They've been hiding their capabilities all this time." Captain Tay nodded slowly, a new respect forming for these supposedly primitive beings.
"The question is, why hide? Why build a fleet in secret?"
June looked up from her console, her expression grim.
"Maybe they knew something we didn't. Look at these ship designs, they're primarily defensive and tactical. This isn't an exploration fleet. It's a defense force." Against what? Asked Tay.
Before anyone could answer, Officer Sun called out, "Captain!
We're being hailed from Earth."
The view screen changed to show a human woman in a dark uniform adorned with silver stars.
Her face showed neither surprise nor fear as she regarded the alien crew.
"This is Admiral Song of Earth's United Space Command," she said calmly.
"Your probe has been detected. Perhaps it's time we talked." The grand diplomatic vessel Harmony descended through Earth's atmosphere, its silver hull gleaming in the sunlight. Admiral Ha stood by the viewport, watching the blue planet grow larger.
She had prepared extensively for this first contact mission. The humans would surely be shocked, perhaps even frightened by the arrival of aliens.
"We are cleared to land at the designated coordinates," announced Pilot Bo. Location is a place called Geneva, Switzerland. Admiral Ha nodded. "Remember, everyone. These humans are new to galactic society. They may panic.
Be gentle, speak simply, and show patience." The ship touched down on a large circular pad.
Through the viewports, Ha could see a group of humans standing in formation.
They wore matching blue uniforms and showed no signs of fear or surprise.
"That's unexpected," muttered Science Officer Quan. "They look like they're waiting for a scheduled meeting." Ha smoothed her ceremonial robes. "Let's not keep them waiting then." The delegation of 7 Union representatives exited their ship. The air was cool and crisp.
Before them stood 20 humans in perfect military formation, flanking a small group of officials. A tall man with silver hair stepped forward.
"Admiral Ha, welcome to Earth."
"I am Commander Day of Earth's United Space Command."
"Thank you for accepting our invitation." Ha blinked in confusion. "Your invitation?" "Yes," Day smiled slightly. "We've been tracking your vessel since it entered our system 4 days ago. When you deployed your probe, we assumed you'd detected our fleet. It seemed appropriate to make official contact." The Union delegates exchanged stunned glances. This was not how first contact scenarios typically unfolded. The primitive species was supposed to be amazed, not prepared. "You've been expecting us?" asked Ha, struggling to maintain her diplomatic composure. "For decades, actually," replied Commander Day. "Please, follow me.
Our leaders are waiting in the conference hall." The aliens were escorted through a sleek building with large windows overlooking a lake. Humans went about their business, occasionally glancing at the visitors but showing none of the awe or fear expected during first contact.
In a large circular room, Earth's leaders waited. The head of the table stood as they entered. "Welcome to Earth."
"I am Prime Minister Yuna," she said warmly.
"We've prepared refreshments suitable for your biology based on our observations of Union species."
Ha took her seat, mind racing.
"You've been observing us? For how long?"
Chief Scientist Minji, a woman with short gray hair, responded. "We launched our first stealth observation satellites about 30 years ago. Your Union vessels pass through our system regularly.
We've been learning about galactic civilizations ever since." Science Officer Quan leaned forward. "But that's impossible.
Your civilization should be at least a century away from developing stealth technology capable of evading our sensors."
Minji smiled. "Perhaps your models for technological development need revision." "We should address the reason for your visit," said Commander Day. "You've discovered our fleet." Han nodded slowly. "Yes. A fleet that, by all our understanding, shouldn't exist. Your civilization was classified as pre-spacefaring under Union Protection Protocol 7. A protocol we never agreed to," Prime Minister Yuna pointed out.
"While we appreciate the sentiment of protection, Earth has been capable of interplanetary travel for over 60 years.
"But why hide?" asked Ha. "Why build your fleet in secret?"
The Earth leaders exchanged glances.
Then Commander Day pressed a button on the table. A holographic display appeared, showing star maps and transmission data.
27 years ago, one of our deep space listening posts detected these communications, he explained. We didn't understand the language, but the star maps clearly showed Earth. It took us years to translate enough to understand the content.
The translation appeared on screen: Sol 3 biological assets ideal for harvesting. Native species primitive, no defense capability. Recommend acquisition within 50 cycles.
The room fell silent.
We determined these weren't Union communications, continued Day. They came from the outer rim, beyond your territory. Faced with a potential threat and uncertain of who we could trust, we made a decision. To build a defense fleet in secret, Ha realized.
Yes, said Prime Minister Yuna.
We hoped we were wrong about the threat. But we couldn't take that chance. Ha's diplomatic training hadn't prepared her for this. May I see the specifications of your fleet?
The technology our sensors detected exceeds what many Union worlds possess. Minji tapped on her device, and detailed schematics appeared in the air.
Propulsion systems unlike any in the Union.
Weapons based on principles the galactic community had never explored.
Communications technology that operated on entirely different principles. How? Whispered Quan. How did you develop all this so quickly?
Necessity, replied Minji simply.
And perhaps a different way of looking at physics. Ha studied the humans with new eyes. They weren't primitive at all.
They had been watching, learning, and preparing. And now, they had just changed the balance of power in the galaxy. We have much to discuss, she said finally.
And I believe the Union Council will be very interested in meeting you.
The Grand Union Council chamber buzzed with angry voices. Nearly 300 representatives from across the galaxy had gathered for an emergency session.
News of Earth's secret fleet had spread quickly, causing panic and outrage among many species.
Order! I will have order, shouted Council Leader Hyun, banging his ceremonial staff on the floor.
The room gradually quieted.
We will discuss this matter civilly. Representative Wook of the Militant Alliance stood, his scaled skin flushing a deep orange with anger.
There is nothing to discuss. These humans have violated the very protocols designed to protect them. They built weapons of war while pretending to be primitive.
Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. They should be sanctioned immediately, continued Wook.
Their fleet dismantled under Union supervision.
Earth's ambassador Jean remained calm in his seat at the center of the chamber. This was his first time off-planet, yet he showed no sign of intimidation before the gathered alien species. May I speak? He asked politely.
Council Leader Hyun nodded.
The representative from Earth has the floor. Jean stood slowly, looking around the chamber.
Thank you.
First, I must point out that Earth never signed your protection protocols. We were never consulted. While we appreciate the sentiment behind them, they were imposed without our knowledge or consent. That's because you were supposed to be pre-spacefaring, shouted a delegate from the back.
Jean nodded.
By your definitions, perhaps. But that doesn't change the fact that we never agreed to limit our development. The issue isn't just the protocols, said Representative Mina of the Science Coalition, her voice more measured.
It's the deception.
You hid your capabilities from the galactic community.
Yes, admitted Jean. We did.
Because we detected something that frightened us. He gestured, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber.
It showed transmission data and star charts.
27 years ago, we intercepted these communications discussing Earth as a harvest world. We built our fleet for defense against this unknown threat.
Wook scoffed loudly. A convenient excuse. Where is your proof that these transmissions are real?
For all we know, you fabricated them to justify your military buildup. Before Jean could respond, the chamber doors burst open. A Union security officer rushed in, heading straight for Council Leader Hyun. They spoke in hushed tones for a moment before Hyun's face darkened.
I have just received troubling news, announced Hyun.
Long-range scans have detected a previously unknown species with technology designed specifically for resource extraction from populated worlds. Their vessels are heading towards several developing systems in the outer rim. The chamber erupted in worried conversation. Furthermore, continued Hyun, when the noise died down, our analysts have confirmed that the transmissions Earth intercepted appear genuine. They match the language patterns and encryption of these approaching vessels. Ambassador Jin's expression remained neutral, but his eyes showed a hint of vindication. As I was saying, we built our fleet for defense. Not just for Earth, but potentially for other worlds that might face this threat. The mood in the chamber shifted slightly.
Some representatives still looked suspicious, but others now appeared thoughtful. Representative Wook wasn't satisfied. Even if this threat is real, it doesn't excuse Earth's deception. They should have come to the Union for protection. Should we? Asked Jean. When we didn't know if the threat might include members of the Union itself? When we had no way to verify who we could trust? Before anyone could respond, an aide rushed to Wook's side, whispering urgently. Wook's scales flashed bright red with anger. What is the meaning of this? He demanded, standing abruptly. I've just been informed that 3 vessels from my coalition have broken formation and are heading toward Earth's solar system. All eyes turned to Jean, who checked his communications device. Confirmed. 3 militant faction vessels have entered our outer defense perimeter near Neptune. They are scanning our outposts. Council Leader Hyun slammed his staff down hard. This is unauthorized. I did not approve any military action. They're acting independently, said Wook, looking genuinely surprised. I didn't order this. Jin's device beeped urgently. His face paled as he read the message. We've just received word that the vessel Righteous Fury has powered up weapons systems near our lunar colony. They're demanding access to inspect our facilities. The chamber fell into chaos as delegates shouted over each other. Some demanded immediate withdrawal of the militant vessels, while others supported the inspection. Jean stood tall amidst the noise. If those ships fire on our colonies, we will defend ourselves. I suggest you call them back immediately. Wook's scales now pulsed between red and purple. Are you threatening the Union? No, replied Jean calmly. I'm simply stating a fact. Earth has remained peaceful despite building our fleet. We wish to join the galactic community as equals. But make no mistake, we will not be bullied. Council Leader Hyun raised his staff. Emergency session. All military commanders report to the strategic chamber immediately. We must prevent this situation from escalating further. As delegates rushed from the room, Ambassador Jean sent a simple message to Earth Command: defensive posture authorized. No first strikes. The first true test of Earth's hidden fleet was about to begin. Space around Earth's moon shimmered as 7 sleek vessels appeared from behind cloaking fields. The Earth ships formed a protective line between the lunar colony and the approaching Union militant vessels. Their hulls gleamed with a subtle blue glow, indicating active shield systems unlike any the galaxy had seen before. On the bridge of the Earth flagship Defiance, Captain Yoon stood calmly, hands clasped behind his back. The veteran commander had trained for this moment for 15 years, though he'd hoped it would never come. Status report, he ordered. 3 militant faction vessels approaching, Captain, replied Tactical Officer Yoon. The Righteous Fury leads, flanked by 2 destroyer-class ships. Weapons systems active on all 3. Yoon nodded. Open a channel. The main screen flickered to life, showing the stern face of Admiral Bay, a reptilian alien with scales that pulsed red with anger. This is Admiral Bay of the Union Militant Coalition, he announced. Your secret military buildup violates galactic law. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded for inspection. Captain Yoon met the alien's gaze steadily. This is Captain Yoon of the Earth vessel Defiance. Your presence here is unauthorized by the Union Council. Our lunar colony contains civilian facilities. Any hostile action will be met with appropriate response. Admiral Bay's scales darkened. You have 10 minutes to comply, or we will disable your vessels and conduct our inspection by force. The screen went dark. They're charging weapon systems, reported Yoon. Main cannons powering up. Yoon turned to his communications officer. Signal the fleet. Activate Selective Energy Disruption Field, Level 2. Defensive Posture Only. Throughout the Earth fleet, engineers activated systems that had never been tested against actual Union technology. The ship's hulls emitted a barely visible ripple that spread outward like a wave. On the Righteous Fury, Admiral Bay watched as the countdown reached 0. They've had their chance. Target their primary ship and fire. His weapons officer pressed the firing controls. Nothing happened. Sir, weapons systems not responding, reported the confused officer. Running diagnostics. Try secondary systems, ordered Bay. One by one, every offensive system on all 3 militant vessels failed to respond. Their targeting computers functioned, power flowed to the weapons, but the firing mechanisms simply would not activate. What's happening? Demanded Bay, his scales now pale with confusion. His chief engineer looked up from a console, face shocked. Admiral, something is selectively disrupting our energy patterns. It's only affecting weapons systems, life support, engines, and shields remain functional. On the Defiance, Captain Yoon allowed himself a small smile. The disruption field is working perfectly. Their weapons are neutralized. Captain, said Communications Officer G, we're being hailed by the Righteous Fury. Admiral Bay's face appeared once more on screen, now showing a mixture of fury and fear. What have you done to our ships? We've temporarily disabled your offensive capabilities, replied Yoon calmly. Your life support and other critical systems remain functional. We could have disabled those just as easily, but chose not to. Bay's scales flashed various colors as he struggled to maintain composure. This technology, it's impossible. Clearly not, said Yoon. Now, you have 2 options. Withdraw from Earth space immediately, or remain here powerless until Union peacekeeping forces arrive. I should inform you that the Council has been notified of your unauthorized aggression. Before Bay could respond, a new signal came through. The bridge screen shifted to show 12 more Union vessels dropping out of faster-than-light travel nearby. The lead ship bore the markings of Union High Command. This is High Commander Sook of Union Peacekeeping Forces, announced a stern-faced alien. By order of the Council, all vessels are to stand down immediately. Captain Yoon nodded respectfully. Earth forces are in defensive posture only, Commander. We will maintain position to protect our colony. High Commander Sook turned his attention to Admiral Bay. Admiral, your coalition vessels are ordered to withdraw from Earth space immediately. Your actions were not authorized by the Council. Bay's scales now pulsed with embarrassment. Our weapons are disabled. We cannot navigate safely. Perhaps we can help with that, offered Yoon. He signaled to his tactical officer, who deactivated the disruption field. Systems throughout the militant vessels suddenly came back online. Admiral Bay looked stunned. You can control exactly which systems to disable, he realized. And activate them again at will. Yes, said Yoon simply. We developed this technology hoping never to use it. Today, you forced our hand. High Commander Sook studied the Earth vessels with new interest. Captain Yoon, the Union Council requests a full demonstration of your capabilities. A delegation will be arriving shortly. We would be happy to oblige, replied Yoon. After all, Earth wishes to join the galactic community. We simply want to do so from a position of strength. As the militant vessels retreated under escort, messages raced across the galaxy. Earth wasn't just another emerging civilization. They had hidden technologies that could render the most powerful ships helpless without firing a shot. In Union Council chambers, representatives debated furiously about what this meant for the balance of power. But one thing was clear to all: underestimating humanity had been a serious mistake. The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Union shone with ceremonial lights. Representatives from over 500 worlds filled the circular hall, their eyes fixed on the center platform. Earth's Prime Minister Song stood proudly beside Council Leader Hyun, waiting to sign the historic agreement. 1 month had passed since the confrontation near Earth's moon. In that time, everything had changed. Today marks a new chapter in galactic history, announced Hyun, his voice echoing through the chamber.
Earth will formally join the Galactic Union, not as a protected world, but as a full member with all rights and responsibilities.
The crowd murmured. Such rapid acceptance was unprecedented. Normally, new civilizations spent decades as probationary members. Prime Minister Song stepped forward. Her simple blue uniform stood out among the elaborate robes of the other delegates. On behalf of Earth, I thank the Council for recognizing our sovereignty. We look forward to peaceful cooperation.
She signed the glowing document that hovered in the air before her. As she did, the massive screens around the chamber displayed images of Earth's fleet, now openly patrolling their solar system. After the ceremony, representatives gathered in smaller groups. Many were eager to speak with the Earth delegation.
Is it true? Asked Representative Mina, approaching Earth's chief scientist Rin.
Did your ships really detect the Krell predatory fleet before even our long-range sensors could?
Rin nodded.
Our detection grid extends beyond your usual scanning range. We designed it specifically to find cloaked vessels after intercepting those first threatening transmissions. And now the Krell have been contained, said Mina with wonder.
7 developing worlds saved from harvesting because of your warning.
In another corner of the reception hall, Admiral Ha of the Union Fleet engaged in serious conversation with Earth's Defense Minister June. I must know, said Ha quietly.
How did humans advance so quickly? Our models suggested you were centuries away from these technologies. June smiled slightly. When your civilization faces destruction, you innovate or perish.
After we detected those transmissions about harvesting Earth, our governments united in secret. We directed all resources toward defense. But the concepts themselves, pressed Ha.
Your approach to quantum physics is entirely different from ours.
Perhaps that's our advantage, suggested June. We came to space with fresh eyes, without the weight of established galactic theories.
Sometimes a new perspective sees what others miss. Across the room, Earth's ambassador Jean met with Council leader Hyun in private.
The technology exchange program starts next week, said Jean. Earth will share our innovations in quantum communications in exchange for your faster-than-light travel upgrades.
Hyun nodded. A fair exchange. Though I suspect you're not sharing everything.
No more than the Union shares all its secrets, replied Jean with a small smile.
Trust builds over time. Indeed. Hyun looked thoughtful.
Many council members were against offering Earth full membership so quickly. They feared your military capabilities.
And what changed their minds? The Krell. Hyun's expression darkened.
When your detection grid revealed their fleet heading towards 7 developing worlds, worlds under our protection that we failed to defend properly, it became clear that the galaxy needs Earth's unique perspective. Your warning saved billions of lives. As the reception continued, Captain Yoon of the Defiance stood by a viewport, gazing at the stars.
Admiral Ha approached, holding 2 glasses of ceremonial blue liquid.
A drink to peace, Captain, she offered.
Yoon accepted with a nod. To peace, Admiral.
They stood in comfortable silence for a moment before Ha spoke again. Your selective energy disruption technology, my scientists have been studying it since the incident.
They say it shouldn't be possible.
Yet it exists, replied Yoon simply.
It could change warfare forever, said Ha.
You could have used it for conquest. Yoon turned to face her directly.
That was never our intention. Earth built its fleet for one purpose: survival. And now?
Now we have the luxury of choosing our path.
Yoon smiled. Our leaders believe cooperation serves humanity better than conflict.
As the reception drew to a close, Professor Rin found himself speaking with a group of Union scientists. They bombarded him with questions about Earth's technology. The true lesson here isn't about our specific innovations, Rin told them. It's that diversity of thought leads to progress. The galaxy needs new perspectives even from species that seem primitive at first glance. One young scientist looked thoughtful. Perhaps we've been too rigid in our thinking for too long. Exactly, agreed Rin. Sometimes the greatest discoveries come from those who don't know something is supposed to be impossible.
As night fell on the Union capital world, Earth's delegation prepared to return home.
Through the viewport of their ship, they could see their own sun, a tiny, distant point of light among billions. Prime Minister Song stood beside Ambassador Jean, watching the stars.
"Do you think they understand yet?" she asked quietly. "That humanity isn't just another species joining their community?" Jean smiled. "I think they're beginning to."
Behind them, displayed proudly on the main screen, was an image of Earth's hidden fleet, now revealed to the galaxy as a force for stability in a changing cosmic order.